Tim? Ready? Alrighty, good evening everyone. Welcome to DuePoint. Welcome to everyone who's tuned into the live stream on YouTube Live this evening. Thanks for taking the time to come see us at our head office. This evening we've got a special format for you. So tonight is Tell All Tuesday, which also coincides with Speak Like a Pirate International Day today. But Brendan's told me I'm not allowed to speak like a pirate during the presentation. So you'll get the normal Tell All Tuesday. It's a great format because we invite a lot of the successful wealth engineers to come up onto stage and share with us their experiences of DuePoint. Alrighty. So, who is DuePoint? We're actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. There's the logo in the bottom right corner, the little orange logo over there. Their offices in the background, they're actually based down the road in Randburg. And they've been around for nearly 70 years. So that's who DuePoint is part of. We're also part of another company, Conduit Capital, which is a listed company on the Joburg Stock Exchange. So you're welcome to go do a background check on us, go see who Constantia is. This is the FSP number that we operate under, which is very important because we work within the financial services space. You'll see all our licenses are on display outside in the foyer. Short-term, long-term, and investment license. There are only about another 12 companies in the entire country that have more licenses than Constantia. We are one of the few registered insurers. You might not have heard of Constantia before because they actually don't deal with consumers typically. They deal with other financial service providers. So if you go through your insurance policy, the company that you think you're insured with, you're not actually insured with them. You're being underwritten by a company like Constantia. So they've typically only dealt with other financial service providers, but for the first time through DuePoint, they are dealing with the consumer, with us. This is the executive and management team at DuePoint. So the three characters on the left are all chartered accountants. You can see they're talking amongst themselves. They're ignoring Jane and I because they're talking about Excel formulas and that type of thing. This is the head executive here, Brendan, who's been herding you into the auditorium this evening, making sure everyone sits at the front. Brendan has a lot of experience in financial services, particularly with insurance businesses. Him and his brother founded Prime Meridian, which is a short-term insurer based down the road that has been very successful. Their father founded Clientele Life. So throughout their lives, they've been involved in insurance. I always tease Brendan and his brother and say they've probably got insurance policies as birthday presents while they were growing up. You can see that's why he's so sad. Tim, who's operating the YouTube live stream over there, comes to us from the First Rand Group. He worked directly beneath the CEO there. First Rand Group is a very large banking organization. They own FNB, Rand Merchant Bank, RMB Private Bank, RMB Structured Insurance. He worked directly beneath the CEO. We convinced him to come join us here at DuePoint. Great asset for us. Stacey in the middle there, the youngest and best looking out of all of us. She was working in Europe for Deloitte for a couple of years before she came back to South Africa and was thinking of joining one of the big banking companies. We fortunately were able to also convince her to come join us here at DuePoint and help us. Then the non-accountants, Jane, the shortest but with the biggest smile, the smile of DuePoint. She welcomes all our wealth engineers and guests that come to our head office. She has got a lot of experience in direct marketing, direct selling. She comes from the UK, so if you speak to her, you'll notice she's got a very strong Yorkshire accent. She was there for, most of her life before she came here and has been here for about 10 years. Hasn't lost the Yorkshire accent at all, but a lot of experience in direct selling. And then me, the tallest and second best looking out of the whole group. I come to you from marketing and advertising. So I did a very short stint studying computer-aided design. As a youngster, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to become an architect or an engineer. My father wanted me to become a mining engineer, so he was very hopeful when I decided to go study BSc at Wits, and that only lasted about 3 months before I decided to drop out with the dean's approval to go pursue my career in advertising and design. And I got into that so at a very young age, and that proved to be fairly successful for me. I started a digital agency at a very young age, about 23, when the internet was just starting to become a hype before the dot-com bubble burst. And I ran the digital agency for about 16 years, fairly successfully. We operated heavily within financial services. We did a lot of work with the big banks, Investec in particular, and then a couple of years Brendan took hold of me and convinced me also to join DuePoint, and I left that part of my life behind. So those are the individuals involved at DuePoint. You are in good hands. Brendan was very instrumental in building the team, and we all have fairly diverse backgrounds, but our common goal here at DuePoint is to empower people. I didn't join this business to join an insurance company. You speak to any designer, insurance company is the last place they want to be found. I joined it because there was a promise of making a difference in this country and to earn a little bit of salary. So that's the background of all the individuals there. Why are you here? It is probably on the premise of a financial opportunity, right? I assume everyone in this room is wanting to earn more money. Am I right? If you don't want to earn more money, you're probably in the wrong place. I think the copper bar's next door on the 3rd floor. You're welcome to leave now if you need to, right? But it's the premise of earning more money, the financial opportunity that has probably been discussed with you by the person that introduced you to DuePoint. But if we take a step back, if we try and understand the need, why is there this sudden need in all our lives? We all have fairly different circumstances we find ourselves in, but we get a lot of statistics from the FSB. We understand the greater economics of the country that is affecting everyday South Africans. You don't need to be a rocket scientist or an economist or a CA to understand the pain that the average South African is going through because of the economy within South Africa. At home, I deal with those effects firsthand because my wife heads up labor law for the biggest private employer in the country. And just last week, she got a brief across her desk where they are going to be retrenching all the professionals within their business at head office. So that's engineers, doctors, geologists. Those people are all going to be retrenched, a lot of them within their organization. Her cousin, who's a civil engineer, works in the mining sector in Rustenburg, also got told that she's being retrenched last week. And this is something that's affecting all of us, right? You might have been retrenched yourself. You might know people that have been retrenched. But this has become an everyday reality for South Africans at the moment. These issues are exacerbated by a whole bunch of other aspects, also beyond our control. We've had one of the worst droughts South Africa's ever had. They say it's the worst drought we've had in 100 years. It's affecting food prices. We're now having to import a lot of food. We all know the issues that the mining industry is having, and employment is just not getting us where we need to be. It isn't. We've got a lot of proof that shows us this. What exacerbates the problem even further is debt. Debt is something we all have control over. No one forces us into debt. It's typically a contract that we willingly sign with our bank. We are afforded debt the moment we earn a salary. Because when you earn the salary, it goes into a bank account, and when that happens, the bank sees you as a potential client, and they will offer you a host of products and services. Those take on the form of debt instruments, like credit cards. We all need a few credit cards at least, right? Car loans, very liberating to own your own cars, about 10 million cars on the road, of which only about 30-35% are insured, so try not to have an accident. Home loans, everyone will tell you, own a home rather than rent, right? So a lot of us will go out and try to buy a house where we can. And that's typically a 20-year loan that you're taking from the bank that you're going to be repaying for the majority of your life. And a small portion of what's left over goes towards the cost of living and a whole bunch of other expenses. So one of the statistics that we get from the FSB that says the average South African spends 50% of their salary repaying debt. So that's your home loan, your car loan, your credit cards, clothing accounts, personal loans, educational loans. And once you've paid all of those things, you've got 50% of your salary typically left over, and that gets taken up by the rest of the costs that you have month to month. And that's typically the cost of living, so groceries, all of that. You might want to further your own education. The job market is becoming more competitive every single day. You're competing with the person you work next to at work. So a lot of my peers, the greatest thing at the moment for my peers is to go do an MBA. MBA costs about 200,000 Rand in South Africa. If you want to go do it overseas, it's going to cost you about R1 million to go study an MBA. People are doing this because the job market is becoming so competitive. We all realize, if you're a parent, that you need to send your kids to the best school that you can afford. Again, because the job market is so competitive. You want to give your kid the edge, right, when they get into the job market. So you want to send them to the best schools. Schools are extremely expensive. My daughter's 3 years old. Her creche that she goes to from 8:30 in the morning till 12:30 in the afternoon costs more than a BSc degree at Wits. I joke with my wife. I said, let's skip creche. We skip primary school and high school. Send her straight to Wits. It's going to be cheaper, right? It is ridiculous what education is starting to cost, and it's becoming so competitive that it's actually becoming a lucrative market to offer a service from. You'll see a couple of companies are now listed that own schools and education systems. What else? Holidays. South Africans get a lot of holidays. My wife tells us we get 5 weeks minimum. That's all the public holidays plus the 15 days minimum. If you're getting less than 15 days, you need to go speak to the HR department. But 5 weeks of holidays. That costs us money every year. That costs us money. Retirement planning. That portion of money left over after you're repaying debt is most certainly going to need to be put towards retirement planning. And you don't want to leave that too late. We've got a few new slides that we've put in today because we saw a very interesting article yesterday that I'm going to show you. That is going to be a fairly dramatic reality check for some of us. It was for me. I sent my wife an email already today saying we need to check our finances and our retirement planning, right? So I'll share that a little bit with you in the next slide or two. So we have all these costs. What happens when interest rates start going up? The cost of debt becomes more expensive. So if you only had 50% of your salary left over for all those other expenses, the cost of living, you're going to have less. Because when interest rates go up, your debt repayments become more expensive. You've got less money for all those other aspects. Dreams and aspirations that typically only the young people have in the audience, because reality hasn't hit them in terms of all the accountability we have as older adults, paying bills, children, family, all of that. All of these aspects become compromised when we have less money. You can't send your kids to the schools that you want to send them to. You can't go further your own education. You can't take the holidays that you're used to taking. Heaven forbid you don't have money left over at the end of the month for emergencies. That's where those 3 credit cards come in, right? So this is the reality we're all facing. This is from Fin24. This is the article that Tim sent us yesterday. He sent it to the whole team here at DuePoint. These are just frightening data. So let's take a look at this. So there are 3 different retirement ages. I don't know anyone that retires here. My dad's nearly 70 and he's still working. So let's look at 65. If you want to retire at 65, you need to save 10 times your annual income. If you are currently earning 50,000 Rand a month at the moment, that's 300,000 Rand annually. 600,000 Rand annually. That's 6 million Rand that you need to save to retire comfortably. Right? Let's look at the next one. If you want to retire and earn or get from your retirement 5,000 Rand a month, you need to have saved 1 million Rand. That means you need to have 1 million Rand in capital, liquid capital available to you to get you through retirement. If you want to earn 25,000 Rand a month, you need to have saved 5 million Rand. And if you can only retire comfortably on 50,000 Rand a month, you need to have 10 million Rands worth of liquid capital available to you. The mortality rate at the moment, so people dying now, the mortality rate is sitting at just over 70. Women seem to live 5 years longer than men for some other reason, but the mortality rate is increasing. They reckon people that are born today will live to 125. So for us, for everyone in this room, our mortality rate is going to be well beyond 70. So when you're retiring at 65, are you taking into account how long you're actually still going to live for? Are you expecting to live till about 75? Or more realistically, are you planning to live till about 95? And this is the problem with retirement planning at the moment, is that it's not taking into consideration this ever-increasing mortality rate that we're all going to be faced with. To accumulate this amount of money that you need, this is how much you need to put away for 40 years. To accumulate R1 million in liquid capital, you would need to put 800 Rand a month away for the next 40 years. That contribution would need to increase by 7% a year. If you want 5 million Rand, remember 5 million Rand affords you 25,000, 26,000 Rand a month, you need to be putting away 4,000 Rand a month for the next 40 years. If you want to live in luxury with a 50,000 Rand a month, when you're ready to retire, you need to have liquid capital of 10 million Rand. That's 8,000 Rand per month for 40 years with an annual contribution of 7% increase. Guys, it's frightening. You can see why I emailed my wife immediately and said, we need to double check our numbers, right? I'm a designer. I think even CAs might be surprised at the numbers on the screen. The reality check is for us to all be aware of what our future has in store for us. So this is not to scare everyone. If you take only one thing away from this evening, it is to be aware of what your financial situation is actually looking like for retirement. So go check it. Go look at the article if you want. Send me an email. I'll send you the link. You can go take a look at it. What we realize is that life is actually this journey of debt, right? So this is me. I dropped out of university, carried on with marketing and advertising, started earning a fairly good salary at a young age, got my first car, met a lovely lady that decided to marry me. She had her own car that we were both paying off. We were renting a townhouse. We then started planning a family. We had a baby daughter. We decided we needed to move into our own house. We bought a house. So I'm sitting over here. I'm turning 40 in about a month's time. So I'm sitting here on this journey of debt, well into this journey of debt. Another statistic that we get from the FSB says that the average South African only starts saving properly for their retirement when they're in their 50s. What happened to those 40 years they should have been saving, right? In their 50s. Why? Because this is the first time that you've actually finished paying off your bond. It is the first time the kids are out the house, perhaps through university. It is the first time you've actually got money left over at the end of the month. And now, for the first time in your life, can you only start saving seriously towards your retirement? So what's that? 15 years. 15 years out of those 40 years you should have been saving. Where is that going to leave the average South African? I'll tell you. Financially dependent when they retire. There's only 4% of our population that retires financially independent. 4%. The other 96% are dependent on their children. So now you're a burden to your kids, to your family. You have to undertake such a massive lifestyle downgrade that I can only imagine the stress that that entails. But that's all the bad news. Out of this was born the opportunity. The DuePoint system was developed when we started understanding what South Africans faced. The DuePoint system was born with 3 aspirations for our wealth engineers. The first one, we want our wealth engineers to become debt-free as quickly as possible. Completely debt-free. That is the first goal. The second goal is for our wealth engineers to start building value in an asset that they own. An asset that doesn't have an underlying debt instrument. Like your home loan. Your home loan, you're paying 2.5 times back to the bank what that house is worth. So we want to create value in an investment that doesn't have an underlying debt instrument. That's where our tagline comes from. Reward yourself first is all about that second goal for our wealth engineers. And the third one really happens on its own. For our wealth engineers to connect with their dreams and aspirations they once had. Typically only as younger people. But nevertheless, when you are debt-free and you're creating value in an investment that you own, you're able to free yourself of that burden, that stress, that worry that we all have at the end of each month. Renewed worry after I've shown you those 3 slides, right? So that's the third aspiration for our wealth engineers. Connect with those dreams and aspirations because we will set your mind free where you have that luxury to do that. And our first wealth engineer that I'm calling up is Linda. Linda Lombard, come join me on stage. There you go. Welcome.
Thank you.
Let's see. Linda joined us in February. You have been tracking very nicely. Your earnings have been going up every single month. One of the beauties of this business, that you have control over your earnings, over how much it increases or decreases.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your experience, your story. What keeps you motivated to come see us every week?
Well, Rob, after seeing those new 3 slides, I am so much more convinced that what I'm telling the people that I'm looking to is every South African, every person really needs a second income. So this is really confirming what I firmly believe. Every person needs a second income. And yeah, it's so easy with the DuePoint system. It is, one really can do that.
Yeah, what has your experience been of, I mean, you've been with us for about 6 months, 7 months. What's your experience been of the system, of the team, of the company, of your team that you work with?
DuePoint is actually depriving me from sleep since I've started
In
this.
a good way?
In a good way. In a good way. Since I've started with this, I've really redefined my purpose in life. I've been able to set my goals properly. I've been able to plan properly. I just love traveling. And yeah, seeing these slides, seeing what is happening, it is really, we lose our dreams and aspirations, and suddenly I can start doing that again. And with all the incentives that DuePoint is giving us, it is so much easier to
Yeah, we
to
certainly
get to
try and
that.
encourage you guys as much as
Absolutely.
possible. And
It
what are
is.
your aspirations? You mentioned you're quite passionate about traveling.
Absolutely, and yeah, to help other people also, and I've been able to do that in the past few months now already, to help people, and by doing that, I can start traveling. I mean, signing up people in Tabazimbi, I hope they are watching now, or signing people up in Cape Town or wherever, it is so much easier to do that the DuePoint way.
Yeah, great. I mean, a lot of our incentives are based around travel.
That's
so
right.
I'm sure it suits
That's
your aspirations quite nicely.
Absolutely.
And on top of that, if you look at the little pink logo above September over there, Linda is a WealthQuest winner. So I have an iPhone 5S here for you.
Thank you.
Linda was able to encourage, give her a round of applause. Linda was able to get 20 or more of her team, of her channel, to buy tickets to the national conference next year. So she's going to have 2 tables at our conference
Thank you.
next year.
Thank you.
Great.
And
Thank
thank you
for
so
your
much for my
commitment.
team.
It's a pleasure. So the DuePoint system, how does it work? Basically, it allows our guests here this evening to join DuePoint. When you join DuePoint, you're actually contracting with us. We call you wealth engineers. That's really what you are. We want to see you being a wealth engineer. And as a wealth engineers, we want you to do one thing, and that is to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And into those channels of distribution that you guys build, we will sell our products. So Constantia, DuePoint will sell its products into those channels of distribution. The benefits are, like Linda said, an additional income stream. This is very important. If you expect to pay off your debt faster than what you're currently doing, you need an additional income stream. That's the only way that's going to happen, right? So that talks to our first goal. The nature of a business allows you to create a recurring income stream for yourself. This is arguably one of the biggest benefits that actually caused me to leave what I was doing and join a business like this. Working at an agency, you're really working month to month. And a lot of industries are like that, where you work month to month. At the end of the month, my agency, we started at 0 every month. To earn the same amount of turnover, we would have to spend the same amount of hours. Our designers, our developers, our account managers would have to do the same amount of work that they did last month to earn the same amount of money. And at the end of that month, we reset to 0. You don't have that issue with DuePoint because we're creating recurring income. You're creating residual value in something that you own. So the effort that you put in one month is going to repay you not at the end of only that month, but at the end of the following month, and the month after that, and the month after that. My father said to me from a young age, boy, get into a business that pays you while you're sleeping. I didn't listen to him. It took me a while to come round. But that's the truth of it. You want to be involved in a business that creates residual income for yourself. Okay? This is going to pay you beyond retirement. When you retire, you get no more salary. That's the end of that. Your employer says cheers. You want to be creating residual income in something you own. The power duplication, another very important point. The CEO of any successful business relies on the power of duplication to have built the fortune that is created. The CEO and the person right at the bottom, the person that sorts the mail, they both have the same amount of hours in a week. The same amount of hours. The difference is that the CEO is able to leverage all his employees to his own benefit. This business allows you to do the same thing. Those channels of distribution that you build, these are teams of people that you are building beneath you to collaborate with you. So if you only have 2 hours to afford this business every week, when you have a channel that has 100 individuals in it that are only affording themselves 2 hours in the business, that's 200 hours that you're able to leverage out of your channel for your own benefit. It is the power duplication. Flexi time. Some people might call this a part-time business. This is not a part-time business. This is an anytime business. Part-time business, you still have fixed hours. I want you here at 6 p.m. You can go home at midnight. Anytime business, you guys are accountable to yourselves. This business can suit your schedule regardless of what it is. Now, startup capital, this is a risk-free endeavor. We are not going to ask you for a lump sum of money to buy product. We're not going to ask you for a lump sum of money and promise you 4 times the return in 4 weeks' time. It's not one of those businesses. It does not work like that. It's a risk-free endeavor. No qualifications or experience. You guys might not appreciate this benefit as much as I do. I come from, like I said, advertising and marketing. Brendan only told me once I joined DuePoint that I'd have to go do regulatory exams and start studying some financial degree. So now I'm doing short-term insurance, and just this morning I had a 2-hour test on personal lines short-term insurance. Does that not sound exciting? I got 93% for it, by the way. Thank you. But it's horrible. It's not anything to get excited over. You guys don't have to do any of that. Like I said, we are working within financial services, the most regulated industry in South Africa. When the FASE Act came out in 2002, it put 70,000 financial advisors out of business because it was too onerous to keep working within financial services. You've got to have qualifications. You've got to have experience at a financial services business. You have to do the regulatory exams. 70,000 people said, no, thank you, I'm going to go do something else. You guys don't have to jump through any of those hoops and still gain benefit in being with a financial services business. You get to build an asset. So this is the most important benefit. You're building an asset in something that is treated as a legal asset that you have ownership over. So as a legal asset, you can put it into a family trust. If you get to that age of 125, you can cede the business to your kids, to your beneficiaries. If something happens to you, it can be ceded to your beneficiaries. It is treated as a legal asset. There is no selling involved. Much to everyone's pleasure, I'm sure, right? Brendan will tell you that you're horrible at selling. You should be glad that you don't have to sell. We will do the selling. So there's no selling required on your behalf. There is no stock or distribution. This is financial services. You don't have to phone Jane and come order 50 kilograms worth of product and borrow your uncle's bakkie to come pick up all that product because you are pumping in the business and you're going to be selling 500 kilograms of milkshake over the weekend. You don't have to worry about the expiry date. You don't have to worry about stocking it in your garage. All those issues that come with stock and distribution. You don't have to worry about any of that because it's financial services. We take care of everything. We've got systems that do all the collections. We tell you on your phone if anyone's missed a debit order. Everything gets done electronically while you're sleeping. So we make this business as easy and as convenient to get involved for you guys. And as easy and convenient to be successful at. What are these channels of distribution? They begin with you. That's you in the center there. And after this presentation, you can start making a difference. You can go home and you can call those 5 people that you think would benefit from a business like this. So there's the first 5 people you introduced to DuePoint, and we're able to place a product with those individuals. That is the beginning of your channel of distribution. They go out and do the same thing, right? Because they want to build the business too. And when that vision spreads, people start duplicating. This is the power of duplication happening. How long did it take for you to introduce those first 5 people into the business? Can you see the organic nature, the ability of it to multiply? You only know these 5 individuals. You don't know the rest of the people. You might know a couple of friends, but that's it. This could be the result of those 2 hours a week you have. Now you've got an entire team, a channel of people that are collaborating with you. You are benefiting out of every single dot on the screen financially. Not once-off benefit, remember, recurring income. You are benefiting every single month out of all these individuals that are now part of your channel as a result of the early efforts that you put in. So this is the power of duplication happening in this business. This is our disclaimer slide. My favorite picture. Everyone knows, all the wealth engineers know, I love this picture of the ballerina because it's so apt. You might think that because you've got 2,000 friends on Facebook, you are going to be an instant success in this business. Let me tell you, it's not going to happen that way. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is an authentic business opportunity. If anyone comes to speak to me about an authentic business opportunity, I sit down, I study it, I evaluate it, and when I'm keen to get involved, it requires a lot of thought, strategy, planning, goals. It requires all of that. If this business promises to set you financially free, that is something that is life-changing. Life-changing for you and your family. And so it deserves the certain amount of weight required when you look at a business opportunity like this. So like the ballerina, we all know the pretty foot in the ballet pump, all wrapped up pretty, ready for the state theater. But in reality, that's what a ballerina goes through. That's what a real ballerina's foot looks like. I dated a ballerina, I know. It's not pretty. Better to keep the ballet pump on the foot. But this is what business is all about. We all think that business looks like that. When we see other people being successful, that's what we see. In reality, getting involved in a new business opportunity is that. It requires you to have that longevity, that perseverance in the business. I don't want you guys to set your sights 3 months ahead or even 6 months ahead. I want you to understand where you're going to be in a year, what this business can potentially do for you in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, in 20 years' time. And when you set your sights on 5 and 10 and 20 years, you don't get frustrated in month 2 when your earnings drop a little bit or when someone says no to you. Because you're not worried about that. You know where you're going. You will persevere through that frustration. Let's talk about the earnings. We pay our wealth engineers a base amount of R27.50 for every product that we're able to place in your channel of distribution. Remember the first 5 individuals you introduced to the business? These individuals are people you know personally. They lie 1 point away from you. When they lie 1 point away from you, they're actually subject to 200% multiplier. So we don't pay you R27.50, we pay you R55 for every product, every month. Remember, not once off, every month going forward. Point 2, your friends go out and do the same thing. And when we place a product with those individuals, these individuals lie on your second point. And again, they're subject to a 200% multiplier. So again, we pay you R55 for every product, every month. To the third point, to the fourth point, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth point. At the 8th point, the multiplier drops to 4%, but we don't limit you there. Like on that power duplication screen, your business in the next 5, 10 years could be 100 points deep. We are going to pay you regardless of how big your business gets. We are not going to limit you on how big that channel grows to. We're not going to limit you on how much you can earn at DuePoint. So really the accountability again lies with you. How much time can you commit to this business? How big can you grow it? What we did with those very exciting chartered accountants was we put them in a room and they came up with a growth model for us. The growth model we call the path to success. Way better than the journey of debt. What this does is it illustrates to our guests how much money you could be earning in time. It's based on what we call the 3+2 model. So the 3 represents the first 3 people you're going to introduce to the business in month 1. So you join tonight. In September, you're able to get 3 people into your business, and the 2 represents every consecutive month thereafter. So you only have to add in 2 additional people into your channel every consecutive month thereafter. It's only 1 person per week. Based on that, after 6 months, you could be earning 2,500 rand. Now, some people might turn their noses up at 2,500 rand, right? 6 months of work and you're only getting 2,500 rand. Doesn't sound like that much. But let's look at the value of 2,500 rand when you take into consideration the debt that we all have in our lives. So let's take an example of a 1 million rand bond. You've got an existing 1 million rand bond. You're probably paying 10, 11,000 rand per month, paying the bank back, right? Over 20 years. You decide to take that 2,500 rand that you're now earning from DuePoint, and instead of spending it on shoes, you put it into your bond. It is going to drop the term from 20 years to 11.5 years. 2,500 rand will save you 1 million rand in repayments. You can now start putting 10, 11,000 rand into your retirement planning 10 years sooner than what you would have. Don't be the person that only starts saving for their retirement when they're 50. Right? This ties back into goal 1 for our wealth engineers. Pay your debt off as quickly as possible. It has dramatic consequences for your retirement. And you keep going. 10,000 rand after 12 months. After 24 months, 30,000 rand a month. I don't care how much you earn, 30,000 rand is a lot of money every month. Right? A lot of money. I did some research. You can buy a 911 Turbo Porsche for 30,000 rand a month. Not very good for your retirement planning exercise, but still something to take note of. After 36 months, you could be earning nearly 50,000 rand a month. If you want to look at the bond example again, here's a 5 million rand bond. You're earning at 30 months about 36,000 rand a month. If you put that into your bond repayments, you will drop the term from 20 years to less than 7 years. So in less than 7 years, you can pay off a house that is valued at 5 million rand. So I've got 21 years until early retirement, right? 60 is early retirement, very early. But in those 21 years, through a system like this, I can pay a 5 million rand house off 3 times over. 3 times over. So when I'm ready to retire, not only do I have the residual income that DuePoint is giving me, but I've got 3 houses that I'm getting rental income from. That's about 25,000 rand per house. That's 75,000 rand in income that I'm getting from those 3 houses. This is what we want for our wealth engineers, right? Start building value in investments that you own. We keep going. You're not the ballerina that's quit. So after 48 months, you'll be on about 75,000 rand a month. And then after a very short 60 months, you could be earning in excess of 1 million rand a year. Anyone expecting 1 million rand bonus from their employers in the near future? No. It's just not a reality for us, is it? And how long is 60 months? Is 60 months a long time to commit time every week to your new business that you're involved in? Is it? 60 months? I like to look at the Olympians that have just finished the Olympics. They did their races. They did whatever they needed to do. They went and got drunk, a lot of them. Some of them got arrested. But that was the only week or 2 weeks they had off. They are already training for the next Olympics. That's the commitment we want from our wealth engineers. Some foresight. Look 5 years ahead. Plan where you want to be in 5 years' time. What it's going to do for your future, your retirement. 60 months is not a long time to commit to. That's what we want our wealth engineers to do. So all of that is theory. David's making it happen. David, come and join me on stage, please. Don't be shy. David's been on stage before. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, thank you.
David's been with us since the end of April, so a relatively shorter time than some of the other wealth engineers. That path to success was based on 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2 is only a guideline. It's only a guideline. You can do more than 3 plus 2. David is doing more than 3 plus 2. So tell us your experience. What motivates you? Share your story.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, ladies
An
and
open-ended
gentlemen.
question. He's lost now.
Okay, when I came on stage about 3 months ago, I was very excited, and I had disappointments on the way where, this is not an easy business. If it requires persistence. You need to work hard. You need to push, talk to as many people as possible, and you know what? Don't keep your eyes on the ball. Do not lose focus. And it's a team. This is a teamwork. You work with the team. You work with people. So you make sure you have contact with your people. You make sure there's training that is involved with DuePoint. So let's take advantage of that and push as much as we can. And I think at the moment it's no longer about whether DuePoint works or it doesn't work. Yes, it works. We've seen results. We've seen people, making money and earning from the DuePoint system. So let's push and let's work hard. And if you have a team, support your team and work with your team.
Yeah, so I mean, where you're standing now, I'm just looking at your September earnings. That's a residual income of about 42,000 Rand extra a year.
Yes.
And that's growing. What are your aspirations for the business? What do you want this business to do for you?
Basically, the business needs to change my life, and I've got kids, and I need to make sure my kids are looked after, and hard work. There's a lot. Yes, I can. When I was here the last time, I said I'm gonna celebrate my 40th birthday, but after in style, and after seeing those slides, I realized, what, I need to work hard. If I put these 4 grants, so I have how many years? 20 years to early retirement. So I'm basically on my 2.5 million when I get to 60.
Yeah.
So
you're not going to buy that Porsche
No.
when you get the 30,000 Rand a month.
No ways, no ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, the accountability and the responsibility you have becomes more of a reality. But I think for you, you did mention the first time you came up on stage that you wanted to have this big 40th birthday.
No, true.
But
true.
I think the responsibility weighs heavily on you. And when you start earning money, your perception suddenly changes. Now DuePoint is actually becoming a reality for you. You realize this is not about messing around. This isn't a hobby. This isn't a certain amount of money I'm going to earn for a short time. This is something that's going to change my life and my children's lives.
No, true, yeah.
So you are very committed to the business, to the extent that you've even changed jobs to suit the DuePoint business. Tell our guests what you've been up to.
I really had to, you can see with the uniform, I'm from the hotel background, and I was working from like 12 o'clock to 12 o'clock midnight. And I wake up at 10 o'clock, I have to take a shower, go back to work. Weekends when I have to meet people, I'm not able to do that. I have to go to work. So I had to make some serious decision to take a job that is I was able to align my DuePoint business to my new job. So, while I'm still earning on my job, I'll be able to build my channel as well, build a team and more. I mean, we still have to grow this money. I'm looking at earning, at least in the next 5 years, the 100,000 Rand a month. That's my aspiration and that's my vision. And it's easy to achieve that as long as, we committed and, persistent and we know where we're going. Vision all the way. Yes.
Well, your earnings are growing every month, and we appreciate your time and your commitment, and we look forward to that day, that month that we're going to be giving you 100,000 Rand every single month going forward.
And a car.
And a car. You want it all.
I want to know. Thank you very much.
Thanks, David. And that's the reality of it. I think only once you get involved in this business do you understand the reality of what it can afford you, right? It becomes apparent. And that's why evenings like this are so important, where we've got wealth engineers that come up onto the stage and you're able to see the success that they're having. And they all discuss the learning curve involved, the frustration that's involved, right? And the perseverance that's needed. But a short amount of time. Not 7 years of studying BSc at Wits only to be told you're getting retrenched when you're in your 40s, right? Within how many months is that? 3-4 months you can start making a difference, a significant difference to how much money you have at the end of each month. So those were our earnings that we kind of looked at, our returns. We have another way that our wealth engineers benefit, and that is through an incentive program that is called the XP Rewards Program. All these little items floating past here are typical tasks that our wealth engineers engage with, and we reward them with points whenever they complete these tasks. So the first task is very simple: log into the website. We all know you log into the website, you get 25 XP. Here's one that's a little harder: personally present to at least 10 guests at home. When you do that, we give you 4,000 XP. And when you start building up all this XP that you're being awarded with, and your channel begins to get bigger and bigger, we reward you over and above what we're paying you every month, right? So here's the table, the XP Rewards table. When you join us, you will be a rank 0 wealth engineer, but the moment you have 4 products in your channel and you've got 1,000 XP, we'll give you a 55 Rand check. So you can go out and celebrate. McDonald's, Nando's, a haircut, small celebrations. But the rewards get bigger and better. Okay? At rank 5, you get a 1,200 Rand Lightning memory stick. So here's Patrick and Pumi when they receive their Lightning memory stick. The beauty of the memory stick is that it can plug into any device. Into any Apple device, into any Android device, into any laptop or computer. More importantly, it's got all our training material, all the presentation material, all the videos that we've done. It has everything on it, so that you're able to extend the opportunity of DuePoint anywhere, at any time, with anyone. Our whole incentive program is based around trying to make our wealth engineers as successful as possible, with all the convenience that we're able to afford them through the technology that we've invested in as a business. At rank 7, we spend 12,500 Rand on business cards, premium business cards. Here's Donnie with his business cards. We call these the Rolls Royce of business cards. They're 4 times thicker than any business card. They are gilded in gold around the edges, and they're made out of some recycled potato paper of sorts. That has been imported from an island you've never heard of. But the importance of these business cards is that when you place them in someone's hands, they take note. Because I promise you, these business cards look more expensive, feel more expensive than any CEO's business cards in this country. So when you place a card like this in someone's hand, they're going to take notice of who DuePoint is, what you do for them, and hopefully they'll be sitting with you at the next intro presentation. At expediter level, this is the very exciting rank, rank 9. These are all once-off rewards, but when you get to rank 9, this is an annual reward. An annual reward. We will take you and your family away, business class flights, to a 5-star resort every single year for 7 days. Every single year when you get to that rank. There is no time limit on this rank. We all know the incentive program at work has got a time limit. You make so many sales before the end of the year, I will reward you. There is no time limit with our incentive program. Right? You're again accountable for yourselves. Do it in your own time. You're independent. So this is the annual international conference. We've put together a video to give you an understanding of what this entails. Would you like to see the video?
down to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up. And all these steps that we take are leading us far away. And all these years are passing each day. Since then we are far away from where we were. We did what we could. We're light years away from where we stood. The road goes on far from it all.
So who wants to get to rank 9? I do. Unfortunately, I can't become a wealth engineer. But that's the opportunity that we afford our wealth engineers. It's not just a vacation, right? It's the ability to allow wealth engineers to connect with what it means to have that lifestyle change. And to even open up their children's eyes to what life's about. It's not about bills and panicking about retirement. It's about living life to the fullest extent and enjoying it. And it keeps going. At rank 11, a new car. The best kind of car you can own. One you're not paying off at the end of the month. The one that doesn't have a debit order at the end of the month. Because we buy the car cash and it's yours. No DuePoint stickers. maybe a DP number plate. Again, everything we do is to support our wealth engineers in becoming debt-free as quickly as possible. And the rewards only get bigger and better. How long are you going to remain in this business? How long will you keep building that channel of distribution? Will you surpass rank 11? Will you keep going? Are you able to connect with what the possibility is that DuePoint potentially could afford you? And here's another sweetener. Like we don't have enough. Easter next year, we have the Ironman conference. If you can put 350 products into your channel before the end of January, we will take you to the Cape, to Franschhoek, the culinary capital of the world for most of us. You don't have to go out the country to enjoy the beauty of a vacation. Our Easter conference, again, business class tickets for you and the family, 5-star boutique hotel in the Winelands with an awesome itinerary for the adults as well as the kids. You guys can get there. More benefit that we afford our wealth engineers. And here we have Engelbert. Engelbert's not with us this evening because he's based down in Durban, but he's sent us a message which we're going to listen to. Engelbert has been in the business since inception almost. Also went through an initial dip that he needed to get out of, that he learned from, personal development, and look at the jump in his earnings. Again, he's accountable for himself. We are not babying anyone in this business. You're accountable to yourselves. You put in effort, you reap the reward. And that's the point of this business. If you can be disciplined and persevere, you can do anything. Again, doing way more than 3 + 2. Let's listen to Engelbert.
DuePoint is a very powerful business with all the great indicators of legitimacy. Because of that, it's very easy to speak to almost any person they can think of. I, for one, what I chose to do of late is to spend more time speaking to professionals who do have an income already. I'm spending more time with people who are in business already. These people, they tend to appreciate the need for an extra income, second income for themselves. They understand the difficulty of living from hand to mouth, for they see the expenses going up all the time. They do have dreams which will never be fulfilled. So they're quite thirsty. They do have a great desire to make a change in their lives. These people, fortunately, when they do join the business, they take ownership of their business. They do have cars, they have all the gadgets which are required. They are very thirsty for success. What we do is when someone joins DuePoint, we try to spend enough time orienting the person into the business. Understanding the key result areas is very, very important in avoiding unnecessary frustrations. Understanding the importance of your qualifying points in relation to income, rankings, and XP rewards, such issues are very important. I paid a price myself. I think I know better by now. Because of the distance, we are in KZN, we are far away from Johannesburg. We don't have the privilege of going to an office now and again. We strongly encourage every person, those in our team, in our structures, to buy time to watch all the seminars fortnightly live. We also say if you do miss a seminar for whatever reason, please go watch a video later. It's very important. Our development videos are so packed with information which is meant to equip you to be competent as an engineer. Secondly, now we do have our own weekly presentations which are now running. We are about to start our midweek small group presentations which will be run by leaders in their respective areas. I think every wealth engineer needs to use the powerful tool we have on the dashboard to master the art of duplication. Just imagine if there can be 10 of you with the same agenda, same competent level, that dream surely will be realized soon. Thank you.
So that's Engelbert. And he's got great maturity in his approach to the business. He went through quite a dip, so he was earning a lot more than this prior to July. But in his maturity and his perseverance, he didn't quit the business. He had the maturity to understand that it required some learnings that he went through. And he's done exceptionally well. He's created residual value that is already sitting at nearly 80,000 Rand a year, and is still growing. So here we explain the business model. Some people come to Brendan, particularly, question him about the business model, how we are able to afford paying our wealth engineers, taking them on these incentive trips, giving away all these tools. The business model is very simple. Even I can understand it as a designer. This is the traditional business model. We all know to get product to market or services to market, companies have to advertise and market those products or services, right? We can all appreciate that. This costs money, particularly in insurance. It costs a lot of money. So we had clients at my agency, we had clients that were involved in insurance. It is extremely expensive to acquire clients in insurance. So we all know, you listen to the radio, you'll hear one of the big insurers will pay you 400 Rand if you call them and they can't better your insurance quote. And if you claim free, they'll pay you 700 Rand, right? That's because it's very expensive to acquire new clients in financial services. You will not see a DuePoint logo outside of this building. We do zero marketing and advertising. We rely on our wealth engineers, word of mouth, them building those channels of distribution for us to get Constantia's products out there in the market. So instead of spending the billions that the insurance industry spends on marketing and advertising, we spend that portion of the premium on returns and rewards for our wealth engineers. Remember on slide 3 when I introduced you to the team, we are all passionate about empowering South Africans. We don't do it by paying media companies, newspapers, TV channels, all the money to do all the marketing and advertising. We give it to our wealth engineers in the form of those returns and rewards. You might be wondering what the products are. We all know it's not milkshakes or vitamins or any of that. We have 3 products. They have been designed to work together. Right? So you can decide to take 1 product or 2 products or all 3 products. They all have very different benefits, and those benefits address the issues that we all have with regards to debt and investment and creating value. So the first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product. It's 274 Rand a month, of which we invest on your behalf 100 Rand of that, which goes into a tax-free investment account. On top of that, we give you 100,000 Rand personal accident cover. So if you own this product and by poor chance you get hit by a bus, we will place 100,000 Rand into that tax-free investment account for your beneficiaries. Okay, so this is an investment product. The second product is called Wealth Guard. It is an insurance product. This time you have 1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of this product is it is accessible to everyone over the age of 18. So regardless of your health status, regardless of your age, you can take out this product. It is still going to cost 249 Rand a month, and you're still going to get 1 million Rands personal accident cover. So if you, like my mom, who's 65 years of age, got a cancer, she can still get 1 million Rands worth of cover for only 249 Rand a month. So this product is accessible to everybody. Wealth Points. Wealth Points is actually a non-financial product. This product tackles the issue from a completely different perspective. We are all spending money every month. Remember that little bit of money we got left over after repaying our debt? We are still spending it, all right? The cost of living. This product allows you to save on that spend. 249 Rand a month. We put 100 Rand of that into the Wealth Points program. You get access to this list of suppliers. The list of suppliers grows all the time. We're always adding new suppliers. The first supplier, Entertainer, is a buy one, get one free voucher system that's global, that gives you 1.2 million Rands worth of savings in that voucher system. So you can go up the road here. We've got a favorite restaurant here called Juniper's. Got a lovely fillet steak for 160 Rand. You get the second one for free. That's 160 Rand saving in one sitting. There is 100,000 Rands worth of vouchers every single month just on that supplier. We've got a dedicated account manager at Flight Centre. We've got all these retailers that we've gone out and negotiated discounts with that typically you as an individual would never be able to negotiate. And we extend those discounts to our wealth engineers who are part of this program. It's an awesome product. If you want to realize immediate value out of any of our products, this is the one to have. Okay? Those are the 3 products. And on that note, very exciting part of the evening, I call Patrick and Pumi up onto stage. Who have absolutely shot the lights out this month. There you go. Pat, Pumi, tell us your story. I'm going to hand over to you now.
Sure. Where do we start? Okay. Wow. I'll start there. Thank you. I'm like actually shocked with the figures, this ones that I see there. Where do we start with DuePoint? DuePoint is actually a very amazing business opportunity. Sorry, I've got flu.
Okay.
It's amazing. Sure. Okay. Let me calm. I'm shocked, guys, with the figures. Seriously, yeah. When we joined DuePoint, I never thought we should be on those figures by this time. I actually planned to have those figures next year. I was planning to have them by June next year. I'm surprised with these numbers. Yeah? I'm seriously surprised. And I look at the list of the responsibilities that we have, what we've been through, what we've lost in the past. And we look at these figures, we like everything that we thought we lost, sooner or later, we're going to have them back. Eh? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Like recently, we just received them. Okay, our son is going to grade 1, and the fees. Oh, I look at the stationery list already is covered next month. Sure, we're really grateful of this opportunity. We're grateful to the team. We're grateful to everyone. We're grateful to Brandon and the team as well. Your support, Rob, means a lot. I don't think we're going to make like we're going to do this or to be this far if it was not the support that we have for everyone. Guys, we can do this business. This business is doable. That is someone salary every month, which I don't even have to wake up in the morning to go to work for me to earn that. I earn that. It's actually increasing every month. I can imagine my December, my Christmas is going to be so amazing. But I don't really have to wake up in the morning. I don't drive on traffic. When we're coming this way and we're stuck on the traffic because there was an accident, and I hate driving on the traffic. And I'm thinking, I was telling Patrick, I was like, this is one of the reasons that I don't want to go to work, you know, because of driving on the traffic. By us not driving on the traffic every morning or in the afternoon, we're reducing our chances of being on an accident, you know. And I'm like, why not do this to DuePoint and not wake up in the morning? Yeah, I'm excited.
I don't know. When I see the numbers, if I was invited today, after I heard a lot of people were talking in the front, I was just gonna go outside straight away and sign. What I see here in the front, I don't believe, and it's like we were dreaming. And what's nice, since we joined DuePoint because we got debts, so we're trying to get rid of these debts. Each and every month, when I see what we get from DuePoint, the debts are just going down and down and down.
That's the idea. I was joking with you guys earlier, saying that people might think you've got a PhD in human behavioral sciences, or you have some secret formula to being so successful. But what is it? What is it that allows you guys to be so successful? Is it a secret formula?
There's okay. Normally they say there's no secret, there's no formula to success, but with DuePoint there is a formula to success. The only thing that I can say, guys, use all the tools that have been provided. Those tools are working. Those tools, it is your secret to success with DuePoint. Because like some people, they're asking us, aren't we getting tired to be here every day? We can't. We've got too much bills. So there's no way we can be tired to come to DuePoint every day. We don't only come to DuePoint every day. We bring guests. That's the key to the business. We attend the development seminars because we don't know anything about the business. I don't have any diploma or degree on business. The only degree that I have is the one that Brandon is giving me every month on those development seminars. And if you follow them, do exactly what they're saying.
How
And
much
I
are you
don't
paying
see
for
you.
that degree?
It's free. You just walk in here, even if you're down, you know, and you don't like, I've been like really down lately, and whenever you come here, the whole team is behind us. The whole team, they think that we can do it. I never thought we can do it, but they thought that we can do it, which we did. So so there's no that, like, let's follow that. Use all the tools that is being provided. I have no doubt that we're all gonna make it. I mean, you don't really have to take. Even if it means it's a year, for you to get here, for me, it's an extra income, extra, because we're earning every month. But this is an extra income which covers our bills.
And on top of the returns that you've earned, all the effort turned into a new iPhone 5S with the 20 tickets that you were able to get your channel to take up for next year's national conference. So congratulations again. You can check it.
I think I'm lucky. Last Saturday, Pumi dropped the phone. I don't know, maybe Rob phone Pum to say, just smash that phone because maybe can I get another phone. And yesterday she took me to Four Ways for some phone. I don't know what shape. I don't know. Say it again. S7. When I look at it, the price was like 14 something. But that's because I want to see her happy. Then I say, okay, let's just wait for Wednesday. Then I'm gonna go and buy the phone. And as I was sitting down and I see like we got a phone, I was so happy. Because the same money that I was supposed to buy the phone, I can do something else.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you, guys. You make us proud. Well done. Thank you.
I'm on WhatsApp, guys. I'm on WhatsApp now.
So Patrick and Pumi are really smashing 3+2, right? On their way to getting rid of debt completely. No special formula. The secret formula is available to everyone in this room. It's really just a decision. And so I remind you of the support that we have at DuePoint. We don't send you off into the wild on your own when you become a wealth engineer. Everything that the team in this building focuses on is how are we going to support our wealth engineers better, how can we incentivize them better, how we can make them more successful faster. That's everything we concentrate on here at DuePoint. The facilities that we've spent a lot of money on are for our wealth engineers. We've got throngs of wealth engineers that come in daily. They have their business meetings in the auditorium, in the boardrooms that we have available. We've got free Wi-Fi that is available to everyone. Even if you just want to update your apps, you're welcome to come in, update your apps. Right? We've got iPads floating around. We live stream a lot of the events out. So guys like Engelbert down in Durban can flourish building their business. All the technology we invest in is for our wealth engineers so that you guys can be as successful as possible. And like Brendan says, we hit you with the bright slide because it's decision time. We are near the end of our presentation. The start was fairly scary, but a reality check, I think, for a lot of us. I think a lot of us might be going back home and double checking on those figures because they are daunting. They are daunting. We need to realize that employment is not going to get us where we need to be when it's time for it to retire. And then only to make matters worse, there's a good chance that we're going to be retrenched along the way. You know all those miners that went on strike in Rustenburg a few years ago? With the salary increases they got, did not account for the months of work that they didn't work for. The amount of money that they actually lost equated to something like 40 years of earnings that they lost. And this is the problem that we're all facing as fellow South Africans. We are all relying on our employers to get us there. We are not mindful enough of the situation that we're actually in. When I saw the article, I went and spoke to Stacey and Tim. They were even shocked as chartered accountants that probably save 90% of their salary every month. Right? So it is a scary situation to suddenly become aware of, particularly when you are older, 40, nearly 40. Right? I only have 20, 25 years. And those diagrams were telling me I need to be saving for 40 years. It is just crazy. The reality is that you need to start making a plan. You need to get involved in a business that creates residual income for yourselves, an income that pays you beyond retirement. That is the only option. The data I showed you was not to show you to start saving more every month. It is not going to work. You need to make another plan. And so if you don't consider this business as an opportunity, what are you going to consider? If it isn't this business, if there seems to be some aspect of this business that seems too difficult, too hard, take up too much of your time, has too much risk attached to it, well, then I ask you, what are you going to do? I'd love to know. Come speak to me afterwards. I challenge every audience, come speak to me about an opportunity that is better than what we are talking about this evening, because I've yet to hear it. So really, it is not a decision that you're making about whether this business is going to work for you or not. It's a decision about whether you are willing to pay that price for what the business promises you. And that's the decision you need to make. And we make joining very easy, like everything else. Like I said, we've got free Wi-Fi, we've got the iPads floating around. If you've got your own smartphone, you can jump onto the homepage, DuePoint.net. 7 minutes to become a wealth engineer. 7 minutes away from creating value in something you own that you can start on immediately, that can pay you out before the end of the month. We have our national conference. That was the Wealth Quest that we ran last month, that a number of our wealth engineers got rewarded with iPhones for. It is on the 11th of February. If you join this business, if you're serious about this business, you need to buy tickets. We do not have a lot of tickets left over. This event is an event where we celebrate being part of DuePoint, where you're able to bring guests and show them how big DuePoint actually is. Remember, we don't do any marketing or advertising. Odds are your guests have never heard of DuePoint. This is where you get to show people what DuePoint is doing for their friends, for South Africa. So make sure you buy tickets. This is the Wealth Quest that we're running over September. Be like Brendan. You just need to insert your photo over there. So this is the current quest that we're running. Be like Brendan. That Launchpad XP quest, the one where you have to present to 10 people personally outside of DuePoint. Don't rely on us. Start becoming self-reliant. If you can do that twice and have 8 people join your business as a result, you'll have an iPad in your hands before the end of next month. That's whether you join tonight or not. You can create benefit immediately out of becoming a wealth engineer. And last month, we've got another couple here this evening, Mike and Vilna. You also achieved the Wealth Quest last month, so I also have an iPhone 5S for you. There you go. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mike. They come from Kempton Park, my side of the world. There's a lot of successful wealth engineers out of Kempton Park. Must be the airport fumes. And then we'd like to recognize another wealth engineer, Donnie, who's actually at home right now doing a Launchpad quest at his house. 10 people there. He also won the Wealth Quest last month. So congratulations to him. We do these intro presentations every Monday evening, Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, Thursday evening, Saturday mornings, and now on top of all those, we've got a Wednesday lunchtime intro presentation that we're doing. Just another opportunity for our wealth engineers to come bring guests and build their channels of distribution. So if lunchtime suits you better, come do it. For our hungriest wealth engineers, they can supersize their channels and bring people during the business day. Miss the traffic in the afternoons that everyone has to subject themselves to. Come during lunchtime. Okay? And that's it. On that note, our final slide, we have a YouTube channel. It's got all our videos on there. All of them. Get onto the YouTube channel, subscribe, You'll get all the notifications whenever we load up a new video. We've got a mobile app that tracks your entire business in real time. The wealth engineers that say they don't get any sleep, it's because they're on the app checking whether they're making money when they should be sleeping. So download the app, available on Google Play Store as well as the Apple Store. And on that note, I'm going to invite Brendan to come close for us.
So that the accountants can at least have some defense this evening. Rob, we have far more colorful personality than the designers. Folks,
Not really.
at DuePoint, we didn't start this business to sell insurance products. I have my own insurance company. Constantia has got all of its lines of distribution. We could have been selling these products anyway. That's not what we did. We answered the call that government has been pushing at us for years now, that the private sector get involved in changing this economy. And that is what we are doing. But we are doing it in a way that doesn't just give people a means to an end. It doesn't just give people another salary that just puts food on the table, that keeps them in a state of anxiety. You know what it's like. I feel it too. Wake up in the morning with a sense of poison in my veins. What is the future holding for us in this country? Read the newspapers. Look what's happening at the university. That's our future. Those are our children. Is that what our future is going to look like? You know, I mean, Pumi was said that we get a free degree here at DuePoint. Well, you do. There, I guess we can get free education at last. Folks, that's not what we want to do. We want to take away the anxiety that you are feeling, all of you. Whether you are an executive at the moment, whether you're a manager, whether you're earning 50 grand a month, 100 grand a month, or 5 grand a month, we want to put back in everybody's lives the chance, the tool, the hope to be able to live to the aspirations you once had. All of you had them. I wanted the 911 Turbo. I still do. My brother said he wanted to be rich by the time he was 30. He didn't make it, but he's working on it. All of us had these aspirations. Right now, we have aspirations for our children. Do we want them to study in South Africa? Do we want to be able to send them to MIT or Harvard or Yale? Hey, how much would it cost to send a child there? That's a dream. Only certain people in South Africa get to have dreams these days. Don't you feel like that? Are we changing that with DuePoint? We're letting everybody have the opportunity to dream with a direct input-output tool. It's a tool you get for free tonight. There's no credit card machine waiting for you outside. There's not one of those things where you're going to dump 10,000 Rand into DuePoint tonight. You're going to pay nothing tonight to become a wealth engineer. But you're going to walk out with a tool in your hand that you're completely responsible for. But it's the only tool you've ever had that when you put effort in, it pays out. Your employment's not doing that for you. It's not. You're going to be the best employee every single month this year. You will have no say in how much bonus you get, and you will have no say in what promotion you get or what raise you get. That's employment. But with DuePoint, every single month, you can give yourself an increase. Every single month. Until you've increased it so much that you can dream again. That you can live a life where dreams become a reality. That's what we're doing at DuePoint. We don't need to sell our products here. That's not what we want to do. What we want to do is we want to start changing South Africa's economy. And we're going to do it in this room. And you can be part of that with us. That's what we're doing. There's no more time left for any one of us. There's no more time. There's no time to go home tonight and go, I need to think about it. I need to do more research. No. You saw it all. There's nothing more to hear. And there is no cost in becoming a wealth engineer. Tonight's the night that you now start doing something about your future, like we are. I'm looking forward to getting to know all of you. And I encourage all of you to come and ask us any questions you have. You can see Rob has got the gift of opinion. I have the spiritual gift of opinion. I can answer any one of your questions. Come and ask me a question afterwards. Whatever it is, let's get you clear, and then let's get you changing your future. Thanks, guys. We'll see you outside.